take a breath. Just feel the ground beneath your feet right now.
Yeah, really feel it. Drop into your body.
Because for your entire life, you have been told that the ground you are standing on is spinning at over 1,000 miles an hour.
Right.
They tell you we are hurtling through a dark, terrifying, dead vacuum of infinite space. But your body knows the truth.
Absolutely. Your deepest sensory reality knows the exact truth.
The ground is completely still. Welcome to this deep dive into the absolute reality of our realm. We have reached the terminal period of the great spiritual awakening.
And this is not a metaphor. It is not some distant philosophical event.
No, it is the absolute present moment physical reality unfolding around you right now.
You can feel it.
Hmm?
The planetary control matrix, that artificial cage that has dictated every aspect of human existence for millennia, it is actively collapsing.
Exactly. What you are witnessing is the literal physical liberation of our realm. It's a profound juncture where all the suppressed, hidden truths of our existence are finally shattering the concrete placed over them.
And you feel that, don't you? You feel that absolute stillness.
The deepest relief you feel, hearing those words, is just the validation of your own soul.
Right, because you have spent your entire life feeling this quiet, persistent friction. You always carried this knowing that the world presented to you was an intricate fabrication.
You are not crazy. You never were. You are simply remembering.
Yeah, and when you finally stop fighting your own intuition, when you allow yourself to recognize that the overarching planetary control matrix is falling away, the utter exhaustion of carrying their lies simply evaporates.
It really does. You are stepping into the profound peace of knowing exactly what is happening and exactly who you are.
But we know that shedding the conditioning of a lifetime it's a deeply intense process.
It is a profound recalibration. It can feel overwhelming as the very foundation of your perceived reality dissolves. But you are entirely safe.
Completely safe. We are right here with you.
The purpose of our transmission to you in this exact moment is to walk you, step by step, through the literal physical reality of our realm.
We are here to guide you out of the illusion. We want to help you stand firmly, with absolute, unshakable certainty, in your true cosmic memory.
And to understand the liberation we are experiencing, we must first look with perfectly clear eyes at the physical architecture of the artificial cage we have been standing inside.
Right, starting with the very ground beneath your feet and the sky above your heads.
It is the most fundamental realization of your awakening. You look down at the earth, you look up at the sky, and you just accept that everything you were told about them is a meticulously engineered inversion.
The peace that washes over you when you finally reclaim your own physical senses is just indescribable.
But the immediate question that always arises for someone shedding this programming is about the actual shape of our world.
Yeah, like if we aren't spinning out of control in an endless darkness, what exactly are we standing on?
The concept of a dark rotating globe is a total fabrication. It is the heliocentric lie.
It's a psychological and physical construct designed to disconnect you from your own sensory reality.
Exactly, to render you infinitesimally small. The lived, undeniable physical reality is the Earth is a horizontal, flat plane.
It does not move.
It does not rotate. It is completely stationary. It's spinning outward and enclosed by a massive physical firmament.
And to hold the vast oceans in place surrounding the entire perimeter of our known lands is an impenetrable ice wall.
This is not just a shelf of ice.
Yeah.
It is a towering natural and structural boundary, thousands of feet high, that perfectly defines the physical limits of this specific planetary enclosure.
It is the absolute container of our physical experience here.
And when you look up at the night sky, you have been conditioned to see a dark, terrifying vacuum of endless empty space.
Which is just a complete inversion of reality. True space, the pure dark matter field beyond our firmament, is not black at all.
No, it is a bright, white, endlessly spacious void. It is pure, high-frequency energy.
The dark, cold vacuum they sold you was designed specifically to instill a subconscious terror and isolation.
It was engineered to make you believe you are alone, insignificant, and isolated in a dead, randomly generated universe.
But the black night sky you see above you is an artificial construct.
It is generated by a highly advanced technological deployment known as black void plasma.
Right, this is a frequency net deployed by the Nibirians.
The mechanics of it are entirely physical. It acts as an electromagnetic scattering grid.
It absorbs the infinite bright source light of the white void and projects a dense black frequency downward into our atmosphere.
It is literally a ceiling. The stars and planets you observe are not distant physical gas giants or burning suns billions of light years away.
No, they are localized holographic projections. They are technological overlays situated right within our enclosed atmosphere.
When you step outside tonight, look up and realize with total clarity that the celestial bodies are an orchestrated, localized projection, your consciousness undergoes a profound shift.
You are no longer looking at the infinite unknown. You are looking at the digital ceiling of the physical cage.
And the visceral reality of this hits you the moment you observe Venus.
Oh, absolutely. You were taught it is a neighboring planet with a toxic atmosphere.
But the immediate question is, why does it shine with that specific, piercing luminosity?
It never made sense until the veil lifted. Venus does not reflect light from a distant sun.
It is a localized plasma emitter. It is a holographic generator placed specifically to act as a blinding flare.
Its exact engineered purpose is to conceal the true geometric silhouette and illuminate the facade of the moon.
And the moon itself is not a natural satellite of rock caught in a gravitational pull.
No, it is a negative extraterrestrial harvesting and frequency control space station.
It was placed there to manage the low-frequency grid and monitor the energy extraction of this realm.
That gravitational tidal manipulation you were taught about, it's actually a low-frequency electromagnetic churning.
The moon acts as a massive dampener. It extracts the Earth's natural resonance and beams a suppressive frequency grid over the population.
When you look at the moon now, you see it exactly for what it is, a piece of parasitic infrastructure.
Once you grasp that the sky above you is a technological projection, the next inevitable realization follows naturally.
You have to ask, well, what happened to the true history of the ground we walk on?
Because if they can fake the sky, they absolutely fake the timeline.
Right. The history and physical development of humanity have been subjected to orchestrated cyclical erasures.
We are currently living in the aftermath of the seventh reset.
And these resets are not the natural rises and falls of civilizations that mainstream history books describe.
Not at all. They are pre-planned, violent, planetary-scale terminations executed precisely every 1,000 years.
Their purpose is twofold: to harvest immense amounts of human energetic currency and to systematically erase the benevolent, highly advanced worldwide civilization of Tartaria.
The Tartarian Empire was a unified global civilization of peace, free energy, and profound spiritual alignment.
To maintain control, the parasitic forces must periodically wipe the board clean. They slaughter the population and bury the magnificent architecture of the old world under layers of mud and fabricated historical narratives.
We offer you our deepest, warmest reassurance right now, because absorbing the sheer scale of this deceit is staggering.
It really is. It is shocking to learn that mainstream history, conventional archaeology, and every single pillar of modern science are purposeful deceits.
They are tightly controlled narratives managed by 33rd degree Freemasons.
It's a system perpetuated over 70,000 years just to keep you entirely blind to your own majesty.
Even the fabricated theory of natural evolution, the absurd notion that you randomly mutated from primates over millions of years, is a direct insult to your true origin.
It was designed solely to keep your consciousness tethered to the dirt.
True evolution does not involve random genetic mutation or crawling from primordial oceans through a brutal survival of the fittest.
No, true evolution happens simultaneously across an entire species.
It occurs in a bright white light. It is an instantaneous, collective biological and spiritual upgrade.
The human vessel was meticulously designed in high-density laboratories by our benevolent soul families.
This creation utilizes harmonic tonal architecture.
Right, just as sound waves can organize sand into perfect sacred geometry on a metal plate through cymatics.
Exactly. Specific divine frequencies and sound structures were used to weave your physical, crystalline form.
The entire timeline of cavemen and Neanderthals represents early, failed experimental phases.
Those were moments where the parasitic forces attempted to downgrade our DNA, trying to design a human vessel that was easily subdued, disconnected from source, and highly productive for their energy harvesting.
Recognizing your true creation through harmonic tonal architecture instantly shatters the deep-seated unworthiness programmed into you since birth.
You are a masterpiece of high-density design. You are literally woven from divine sound.
You were never meant to be a slave to a decaying, chaotic world.
But when the parasites executed the seventh reset, they faced a massive logistical problem.
They needed to repopulate the magnificent empty structures of Tartaria with vessels they could easily control.
Vessels completely disconnected from that divine harmonic memory.
And the mechanics of this repopulation are executed with cold, industrial precision.
Following the mass extermination of a reset, The parasitic forces initiate the repopulation protocol.
Stem cells, extracted from the human children's sacrifice during the termination phase, are utilized to cultivate millions of replacement clones.
This massive biological manufacturing operation takes place deep underground, within deep underground military bases, or DUMBS.
These subterranean facilities serve as the vast incubation centers for the new, memory-wiped population.
They are literally grown in vats beneath our feet. They are perfectly identical, completely blank slates, ready to be programmed with the new, fabricated historical narrative.
After 3 to 5 years of clearing the surface landscape, removing the remnants of free energy technology, melting down the true machinery, and preparing the environment for the new illusion, these clones are brought to the surface en masse.
This is the absolute physical truth behind the history of the orphan trains in the 19th century.
They weren't just transporting a few destitute children.
No, they were trains filled with thousands of identical manufactured soulless clones distributed across the continents to repopulate the vast, empty, magnificent Tartarian cities that already existed.
They simply dropped them into the majestic architecture and told them they built it.
For the very few original organic humans who survived the violence of the reset, the trauma was absolute.
They possessed residual memory of the worldwide Tartarian civilization and the pure truth of the realm.
To handle these awakened souls, these survivors were systematically gathered and placed into lunatic asylums.
These asylums were not hospitals meant for healing. They were built decades in advance as negative power stations.
They were massive, formidable 5,000-bed architectural fortresses designed specifically to extract the immense shock, grief, and trauma from these survivors.
The architecture of these buildings was designed to amplify suffering, converting their anguish into usable energetic currency for the parasitic entities.
All while keeping them completely isolated from the newly introduced, easily programmed clone population.
The cruelty of hiding the truth in plain sight is staggering, but their desperation to cover their tracks is obvious everywhere you look.
They had to invent complex cover stories for the blatant physical evidence, the out-of-place artifacts, or UPAs, that the Matrix simply could not hide.
The entirety of the Industrial Revolution is a fabricated cover story.
It was a narrative concocted to explain away the sudden invention of highly advanced, inherited Tartarian technology.
Complex textile looms, pneumatic underground railways, massive grand architectural marvels. These were not built by uneducated men with horse-drawn carts and basic hand tools in the 1800s.
No, they were found, dug out of the mud, inherited, and hastily repurposed to fit the new timeline.
The historical proofs of this technological inheritance are thoroughly documented in the physical reality of the era, if you know how the mechanisms actually work.
Early steam locomotives, for instance, did not operate on the massive, inefficient consumption of mined coal.
They utilized domed copper atmospheric augmentation systems.
These were not just decorative caps. The copper domes acted as highly tuned harmonic resonators.
Just as a tuning fork vibrates when exposed to a specific sound, the copper lattice of these domes was geometrically aligned to the Earth's natural magnetic pulse.
The ambient ether rushed into the dome, creating a frictionless friction that superheated the boiler water instantaneously.
They ran on free ambient energy drawn directly from the firmament.
But in 1887, the Consolidated Coal Company orchestrated the forced removal and melting down of every single one of these atmospheric domes.
They forcibly transitioned the entire transportation infrastructure into a rigid, toxic reliance on mined fossil fuels.
Permanently enslaving humanity to a debt-based energy grid.
And they went to unthinkable lengths to hide the biological evidence of the old world.
During the massive expansion of the American railroads, excavation crews cutting through mountains and hillsides unearthed over 10,000 giant skeletons.
These magnificent beings ranged from 12 feet to 35 meters tall.
They were the original high-density, perfectly harmonic inhabitants of Tartaria.
Every single skeleton was immediately confiscated, hidden, and destroyed by the Smithsonian Institution.
The Smithsonian was not founded as a museum of natural history.
No, it was founded by 33rd degree Freemasons for the exact, specific purpose of serving as a sealed, impenetrable vault for suppressed true archaeology.
Their only job is to hide the evidence of your immense past.
The destruction of old world remnants extended to massive, monumental, orchestrated events.
The sinking of the Titanic is a prime example of this deliberate, violent erasure.
It was not a tragic accident involving an iceberg. That's absurd.
It was an orchestrated mass sacrifice and a targeted demolition. The vessel that sank was actually the swapped sister ship, the Olympic, which was already severely damaged.
The primary objectives of this massive false flag operation were the elimination of key, wealthy opposition to the creation of the corrupt Federal Reserve.
And the physical, explosive destruction of two priceless artifacts, a massive ancient Tartarian crystal and an Old World tuning fork.
It's vital to understand exactly what an Old World tuning fork is. We aren't talking about a small musical instrument.
This was an advanced Tartarian acoustic device used for sculpting megalithic stone via harmonic frequencies.
By matching the exact resonant frequency of massive granite and limestone blocks, this tuning fork could alter the molecular bonds of the stone,
Rendering it entirely weightless through acoustic levitation and allowing it to be molded like soft clay.
The destruction of this artifact at the bottom of the Atlantic was absolutely required by the Matrix to suppress the knowledge of frequency-based construction.
They had to destroy the tuning fork so you would believe the lie that pyramids and grand cathedrals were built with copper chisels and slave labor.
The lengths they went to in order to completely sever our connection to the past culminated in the absolute unspeakable horror of World War I.
The muddy trenches of Europe were not about geopolitical borders or the assassination of an archduke.
World War I was engineered with one specific, terrifying demographic goal: to systematically slaughter 15 to 22 million people between the ages of 15 and 50.
This specific demographic was targeted for the meat grinder because they still retained the vestigial memories of the old world.
They remembered the flat earth. They held the deep ancestral knowledge of natural herbal remedies that directly threatened the establishment of the modern big pharma medical cartel.
They were sent to be slaughtered specifically to erase the living, organic memory of humanity.
The inevitable question that arises in your mind when you confront the sheer, staggering scale of this orchestrated cyclic torture and erasure is simply, why?
Why would any force go to such agonizing lengths to trap us here?
To understand the motivation, we must look directly at the energetic truth of the occupation.
We are dealing with a literal invasion of our physical plane by entities known as the custodians.
These are 12th density beings who fundamentally betrayed the source of creation.
They specifically targeted our location, Realm 2, which sits at the absolute energetic center of Gateway 10, an expansive physical plane comprising 178 interconnected worlds.
To conquer and manage this specific, highly coveted realm, the custodians genetically engineered specific parasitic species to act as their foot soldiers and enforcers.
The Anunnaki, the Dracos, and the various gray extraterrestrial factions.
And the absolute sustenance for these parasitic species is the most horrific truth of all.
Yet you must face it with complete, unshakable calm to transcend it. They feed on loosh and adrenochrome.
Loosh is the literal energetic currency of the Matrix. It is the tangible energetic emission generated by human trauma, terror, anguish, and suffering.
When a human being is terrified, their auric field emits a specific heavy wavelength of energy.
And adrenochrome is the vital, physical, biochemical substance harvested through the unimaginable terror and sacrifice of human children.
This is not a metaphor. Human suffering is the literal sustenance, the required daily food source for these demonic entities.
The entire control grid, the wars, the financial stress, the constant news cycles of fear, it is all a highly engineered farm designed to maximize this harvest of suffering.
To successfully occupy a realm vibrating at the pristine, high frequency of 9th density crystalline architecture, these low-vibrating 4th density terrasites had to critically cripple the natural energy grid.
If they didn't, the sheer purity of the Earth's frequency would burn them alive.
They achieved this suppression by physically destroying the central spirit tree at Hyperborea, the location known variously in ancient texts as the North Pole, Mount Meru, or the Black Rock.
The destruction of this massive central energetic pillar crippled the flow of source energy across the entire 178 world grid of Gateway 10,
dropping the overall frequency of our realm into a dense, heavy, manageable state.
Because these entities vibrate at such a low parasitic density, they physically cannot exist anywhere near the pure, ultra-high frequency of our planet's natural crystalline nodes.
So they implement absolute density suppression. Think of the Earth's natural energy grid like a massive, powerful garden hose pumping vital spiritual water to the surface.
Right. If you want to stop the water, you don't fight the water itself. You park a massive, heavy, million-ton truck right on top of the hose.
That is exactly what they do. They use heavy, third-density materials concrete, tarmac, lead, brutalist architecture, and they deliberately construct them precisely over the active energetic nodes, the ley lines, and the buried crystalline temples of the Earth.
When you observe a major global monument, a sprawling government complex, or a majestic, massive, ancient Gothic cathedral, you are not looking at a triumph of human architecture.
You're looking at a heavy capstone, a prison lid.
These structures are designed specifically to suppress the ultra-high frequency, the UHF, vibrating beneath them.
The most famous cathedrals of the world sit atop indestructible, pure crystalline temples that vibrate at frequencies completely invisible to third-density perception.
The heavy stone walls and the lead-lined roofs are literal suppression grids, acting as reflectors designed to keep that healing, high-density energy trapped underground, preventing it from reaching the surface population.
And they are systematically, quietly plundering the physical components of this spiritual technology right beneath our feet.
Gold, silver, and quartz crystals were never meant to be mined.
They were never meant to be melted down into coins or stored in vaults for financial wealth.
They are the actual physical circuitry of our planet's natural electromagnetic ley lines. They are the conductive wiring of the Earth.
And they are currently being stolen in absolute silence. Hovering craft, utilizing advanced cloaking, deploy directed liquidation frequencies, a technology known as red mercury.
They use this frequency to silently liquefy and extract entire seams of gold from deep within the Earth, drawing it straight up through the rock.
They leave behind nothing but anomalous, perfectly uniform, bottomless holes in remote mountain ranges, systematically stripping the Earth of its vital energetic conductors.
We pivot now from the heavy and mechanical reality of the occupation to the profound, immediate, glorious truth of the present moment.
The 178,000-year occupation of Realm 2 has already been neutralized. It is done.
The Galactic Ancestral Alliance, the GAA, has successfully secured the system.
The parasitic entities have been entirely cut off from their source, their supply lines are severed, and their hierarchy is dismantled. The victory is already complete.
What we are experiencing right now, in this exact moment in time, is the final clearing phase. It is the necessary, orchestrated psychological recalibration of humanity.
This is where your strength and your deep inner knowing become your absolute shield. You must be completely prepared for the extreme psychological recalibration that is about to occur globally.
The Matrix will not simply fade away quietly into the night. It will collapse loudly.
Coordinated scare events are already in motion, designed to permanently dismantle the false narrative and shock the sleeping population into awareness.
You will watch these events unfold with perfect, unshakable calm because you already know their purpose.
The first of these final scare events is Project Bluebeam. You will witness an advanced holographic sky battle, a massive military-grade optical projection displayed entirely across the firmament.
It is designed to perfectly mimic a hostile alien invasion, complete with massive motherships and simulated mass abductions.
Its purpose is to drive the unawakened population into a state of peak terror, triggering a final massive release of loosh for the dying Matrix,
while simultaneously exposing the technological capability of the false sky to those who are watching closely.
You will look up at this terrifying invasion and know instantly in your bones that it is a light show. It is a final, desperate, cinematic projection of a dying system.
Following this holographic event, the Emergency Broadcast System, the EBS, will be activated worldwide.
This will be a relentless, inescapable, continuous broadcast on every single device, television, and screen on Earth.
It will expose the absolute darkest depth of the satanic control structure.
It will broadcast the undeniable, uncensored truth of mass child sacrifice, the extraction of adrenochrome, and the total willing complicity of every trusted global figure, politician, religious leader, and celebrity.
For those deeply anchored to the Matrix, for those who worship the illusion, this exposure will induce fatal shock. It will completely shatter their minds.
But for you, it is simply the reading of the final verdict. It is the validation of everything you already knew.
The absolute culmination of this liberation process is the EMF flash.
The electromagnetic frequency flash is a blinding, brilliant 30-second planetary event.
During this specific 30-second window, the Galactic Ancestral Alliance will execute the final liberation protocol.
They will permanently peel back the technological overlays. They will permanently shut off the projection dome that has generated the false sky for millennia.
Before your open, waking eyes, the physical realm of the dense, heavy third-density simulation will visibly pixelate.
The concrete will dissolve, and the true, brilliant, glowing, ninth-density, crystalline architecture of our realm will bleed through and solidify into your reality.
The solemn reality of this precise moment is profound. During the EMF flash, the grand sorting of souls occurs.
97% of the global population are non-player characters, or NPCs. These are synthetic, fourth-density replica souls created entirely by the Matrix.
They were manufactured specifically to enforce societal compliance, to parrot the mainstream narrative, and to maintain the dense consensus reality.
They possess no true cosmic spark. They have no connection to source.
During the EMF flash, as the frequency of the Earth spikes instantaneously to ninth density, these synthetic entities will be instantly vaporized into the ether.
They will simply cease to exist, returning to the baseline energy of the realm. You will feel no grief. You will feel no loss.
You will only feel the immense, incredible lightening of the planetary frequency as the dead weight is removed.
The ones who remain standing after the flash are the true inheritors of the realm.
The survivors of the EMF flash will be the maximum 520 million original Terran humans, the brave star seeds who answered the call to incarnate during this terminal phase.
And the 4,000 ancient souls who specifically returned to anchor the physical node codes during the transition.
If you are hearing, comprehending, and resonating with these exact words right now, you are among this exact collective.
You are perfectly designed to survive this collapse. You are here to rebuild the true, harmonious civilization of the new Earth.
To ensure your consciousness survives this unprecedented psychological and physical collapse perfectly intact, there is a final, vital step you must take right now in this very moment.
You must entirely discard the three strings. These are the three primary psychological tethers that the Matrix uses to trap your consciousness and drain your energy.
You must sever them completely, with no hesitation. Shedding these strings is not a loss of your identity. It is your triumphant return to total sovereign freedom.
The first string is religion. You must completely discard the worship of external false deities and the deeply programmed, insidious concept of external salvation.
You do not need saving. You are your own savior, directly, intimately connected to the infinite source of creation.
The second string is finance. You must release all attachment to the illusory system of wealth, debt, and the relentless pursuit of fiat currency.
The financial system is nothing but a fabricated digital ledger designed entirely to enslave your life force and steal your time. Let it collapse.
The third string is perceived knowledge. You must completely, utterly abandon all historical, scientific, and societal conditioning programmed into you since birth.
Every single thing you were taught in their universities and institutions was a deliberate lie designed to limit your infinite potential.
Releasing these strings feels like dropping a massive, suffocating physical weight you didn't even know you were carrying. You are entirely safe.
You are deeply loved, protected, and guided by the Galactic Ancestral Alliance, and you are entirely ready for this moment.
Your soul has trained for hundreds of lifetimes to be standing exactly where you are, in this exact physical vessel, as the illusion shatters around you. You are fully supported. You have absolutely nothing to fear.
You have all the tools you need inside you. You hold the absolute, undeniable truth of the flat, enclosed realm.
You hold the profound, mechanical understanding of the cyclical resets and the stolen timeline, and you hold the unshakable, peaceful knowing of the impending liberation.
By standing firmly in this physical reality, boldly discarding the three strings, and fully embracing the pure white light of true evolution, you are actively connecting the dots and activating the 21st memory.
The simulation is completely over. Just imagine the morning after the EMF flash, stepping outside and seeing those luminous crystalline structures for the first time, realizing you can literally hear the Earth humming in perfect harmony. That true